All right. Hey, everybody. Myself and Brondo here. We're going to do a new series. What would you say about this? How would you?
Well, we thought it might be helpful. So we're shooting an editorial for FrizmWORKS right now, which we'll walk you through. Instead of just doing a talk through, we thought it might be interesting to like walk you through like when we're choosing outfits for the editorial, why we choose them.
Yeah.
Kind of the styling notes we had for each look and everything, and then try to give like a little bit of reasoning behind it, so that to help you figure out how to style it or like style in general. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. A new format, new idea. We just thought of it and we are not prepared, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, we're just
ready? So here we go. Here's the first look that we have. So we have 5 looks today. We're just going to
hold this.
What's that?
I won't hold it.
Okay, he's not going to hold. He's really giving this all to me. Okay, so what we did here is I'll hold it to you if you need to speak. We wanted to style this Coach's jacket. This is like a featured item this season, so we wanted to do that. It's got a cool lining on it, brown, khaki. So we wanted to pull something like, we wanted this because it's a bold color. I know it doesn't seem like a bold color, but a color like this can sometimes be kind of difficult to wear, and that like it's hard to match with jeans or hard to match with whatever. So we figured like, I think with a brighter color, the goal is to just sort of lean into the brighter color. So we were like, well, we liked this coral, that mutes it a little bit, makes it a little bit more natural with the garment dyed compared to like the nylon. And then, so if you take this off, this is a cool look on its own. So we matched the shoes to here, so we got a little bit of the matchy thing. We also figured because it's like a nylon jacket, it's cool to have kind of like a hiking adjacent shoe. So we chose this cool Merrill, this like, I forget what the Moab, I think is what it's called. So it's really cool. Brings in a little bit of like, it just like breaks the look up from being like maybe something more like Ivy or casual or whatever you want to call a cardigan into this like more sporty thing with the ecru pant, which looks great top and bottom there. And then just throw this over the top. I think like, it's jewel colors, so it all kind of like works together. It makes this feel more bold and less at the same time, so I think that's good. I like it with the jacket on or the jacket off, so depending on how we want to style it, maybe he throws the jacket over his shoulder, maybe he takes the jacket off. Whatever we do, you're gonna get a lot of dimension to it. And like that's how like I would honestly try to wear something like this, where it's not really supposed to be for warmth necessarily, maybe a little bit of coverage, but for the most part, yeah. And so I like the layering. This feels very casual and comfortable. It's just easy. You know what I mean? We want like easy layers here. We like the like no break look in a lot of cases, especially with something super casual like this piece. Nice straight leg pant. We just let it hit. I don't worry about it. Like I'm not gonna roll that. I'm not gonna do anything. The fabric's flowy enough that it's just kind of not necessary in my opinion So I think ultimately we're just going for something that felt kind of like winter beach was sort of the So let's see, I guess you'll look at the editorial after, but yeah, that's the first look we got, and now he's gonna go shoot that, and then we'll do the next look. All right, back with the next look. Here we go. So another FrizmWORKS look, obviously. We started out with this. I mean, just knowing, I think that like, I don't know, I think Chase will agree here. We basically always just start out with outerwear. I don't know why that's the case, but we just, I don't know. It feels like that's the most, that's what's sitting on top at least. Yeah.
What we want to highlight. It's what we want to highlight.
Yeah. And then, so, I mean, maybe that's actually helpful. The way that we do most of the time when we style, and I don't know if that's just because of how we pull it or whatever, we start with the outerwear, then we pull pants, then we pull mid layers if we're going to do them, if it's more than a t-shirt, and then we do shoes. I don't know why that is, but it just feels like it starts to come together to me that way. So I'll see this and I'm like, okay, kind of got this like country life chic sort of thing, and then I was like, well, I feel like that reminds me of like old polo jackets, so I was like, let's try to do it kind of like Ralph Lauren-y. So we went with like a lighter wash jean because that feels very much him, and we wanted to kind of show these off because these are great. This is the what's the wash on this here? 90 Sky Blue. That's the Sky Blue is what I couldn't think of. So I'm gonna do that, and then I want to do like a casual brown shoe. We had these great Clarks that we just got from our friends over there. Shout out Clarks. These are really great. I mean, it's like a desert trek, but it's a slip-on. I really like how, like, I don't know, it feels like you're just milling around your big country house, you know what I mean? So I think it's like a cool look for this. Then we did this kind of cool, like, a crew sweater underneath. It's got this great, almost like sailor collar to it. I really like the different textures. This just all sort of felt very like, this was very much like Ralph Lauren, or shout out our boy Aaron Levine. Kind of feels like something that like it lives in that world, but we just wanted it to be like a little bit edgier, you know what I'm saying, than straightforward. So it just feels like casual, but that kind of like classic, countryside look. All right, cool. Well, let's, I don't know if there's anything else to point out. I mean, this is just going like super tonal and easy. If you live in this world, like color palette wise, something I usually do outside of the black, it's like you can kind of make this work with anything, and it can, no matter how you style it, it can look kind of like edgy and streetweary and chic and cool and very New York, or it can look very much the opposite of that too. So I think this sort of look works on almost everybody, but I like it here. Yeah, it's great. All right, cool. Let's have you shoot it and we'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back. Look 3. Okay, here we go. Honestly, this one came from wanting to style this jacket because it comes in a couple different colors. Great piece. We really liked this kind of like, it's denim-y, but it kind of almost gives this like linen color with the texture because of the denim and it being brown. I really like this piece. If you kind of turn to the side, you can also see that like they've done all these really great tucks and all this to really achieve this kind of cool boxy look. So we really wanted to make this work, but we weren't sure how because it's like a spring thing and this kind of looks a little weighty on its own. Like even with the t-shirt, it just felt like kind of weighted. So even though we're adding layers, I thought we were kind of making it look lighter by kind of almost going, sorry, my phone's going, this kind of like sailor-y kind of situation. So we took this piece that is obviously kind of that old military Navy sort of kind of thing with the ties and all that. I thought it would look really nice because you get the texture, that kind of that vanilla bean texture in the mid layer paired with the kind of the denim-y linen look of this. So I thought that'll look really nice. And then we can do something a little bit more technical in the pant because this is, even though it's kind of a lot going on, you know what I mean? It's simple. So I thought this would draw some interest lower and still be really comfortable because you obviously have a heavy layer up top. It's nice to have a little bit of baggy below. And we wanted something with a little bit of tie at the end because I knew I wanted to kind of pull in this sort of like, deck shoe sort of look. So it's a smaller shoe, but with a bigger pant. If you can have something that ties at the bottom, you get this really natural like proportion thing happening. So you go big, voluminous up here, then it kind of brings in, and then little volume there with a smaller shoe. I think that's kind of a pretty cool look. It's something Chase and I tend to do a lot. So I really like that look. I think this turned out really well. I like that you have a lot of options with something like this. You have the, like he's doing right now, you get the dual way, but this is still popping out. The nice thing is too with the dual way, number one, if you're ever sitting or driving, it gives a nice proportion. It doesn't feel like you're all stuffed up. Other cool thing is when you do a dual way zipper like this with a heavier jacket, I like to wear something like this underneath. So I have like an Arc'teryx jacket, or like I have like an Aura Lee, like a windbreaker or a Battenwear one. And if you have pockets there, then the nice thing, if you have a dual way jacket or like a vest, can also be cool over something like this because you can access these pockets via the dual way zip because you can just use them. So it's all still like very utility minded as well. And this is like the weight of like a shirt. So you treat it like a shirt. We're a little concerned about the dual hood thing, but if you tuck the hood on the side, I think you end up getting this kind of cool proportion and this kind of like layering thing happening, especially since this one kind of has the little like brim on the hood. I mean, this is weighty enough to support that. So really just trying to like play with proportion a lot here and then go fully tonal because there's no reason to bring out any specific thing because it should all kind of look good together. So that's why we didn't try to do like any sort of other colors in here. Just wanted to keep it super like minimal and all to like one color palette because I think it looks cleaner that way. I think this one turned out kind of better than we thought. Yeah, it's very like comfortable and easy to wear, but you still get a lot. There's still a lot going on. A lot of points of interest. I love the little. We like whenever we can get like strings going on. I think it just adds to cool proportions. So you've got all this kind of points of interest too. This is really cool. I love the way this turned out. Cool. So let's we'll shoot it. All right. Look 4. Here we go. So we wanted to do something that like featured this jacket because we think it's really great. It's kind of that field jacket meets Carhartt meets somewhere. It's kind of all something in between, but it works for that reason. We like this light wash one because it's nice and has a lot of good drape to it, looks clean. I like this because you could wear it with anything. And then we just wanted everything else to be super kind of like bohemian, slouchy, super comfortable, like a running errands kind of thing. So we went with this sweatshirt. Shout out Frizm for adding a little canoe club, although we didn't ask for that. This isn't a collab or anything if anyone's wondering. This is literally just canoe club. What was it? We looked it up. It's like
I believe it was the Marine Corps.
Yeah, it's like a Marine Corps or something like that. So some little like group of boats or whatever. So, but it's cool. I mean, you get like canoe club in there. So if you were looking to rep, it's another way to do it. I also like that it kind of has that sort of like Ivy look of like college sweatshirt underneath something. Again, just kind of playing into that casual thing. This is very much like a vintage shop look. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, so we wanted to do it with these also just to kind of continue that really slouchy, really like comfortable look. This is like a linen blend in like a BDU pant. So it still plays to that whole vintage guy look that we're obviously kind of pulling from a little bit, but it also it adds a different dimension, because with this being, I think that whenever you do like hard clothes in some area, like something thicker, you want to like then balance it out with like something a little lighter and flowier below, especially with something a little cropped like this. So I think these look great. I like them. No break, just let them kind of land where they do. Just do your, it's like, it's very much like, it's just chill and casual and easy and nice. And I think it looks cool with the, classic wallaby. Again, shout out our boys at Clark's. These are, I think it just looks cool. It's really slouchy. I love it with this like really drapey bag that you can just, I even like it as an accessory where you don't put a ton in it. You just kind of have it as like, it makes it kind of pulls the outfit together. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy look. I mean, this is nothing complicated. I think anybody could wear this. It makes sense for anybody's style, really. You can like freak this a bunch of different ways. The colors play regardless, but this is, very Canoe Club to do denim and olive below, sort of our thing. It's kind of, we could not work it in at least once. So yeah, this is kind of, this is a very much a Canoe Club look. It's very like mellow and easy and casual, but still kind of that workwear vibe. Yeah. So yeah, this is it works. And this is kind of like, I like doing things when we style too, where I push Chase just a smidge outside of the boundaries. And like, the pant isn't necessarily him, but the more I see him wear it, it's like, yeah, this looks good. Like it really works. Yeah. So let him style it up, and then we'll be back with the last look. All right. Fifth and final look. Maybe my favorite, actually. Yeah. So here's the thing. I think that like a cool zipped up anorak like this in New Balance of any kind, anytime you do that, is a very cool look. If you give them from the side look, this is the reason I like it. You always end up kind of creating this cool dimension with layers, and there's just something clean and classic and like kind of streetwear, kind of preppy, kind of a lot of different things that I really like, that it just is like, it's the perfect running around look. This jacket is incredible. I think this might be my favorite from this collection personally. It's not expensive. It does a lot of cool things. You've got side entry pockets, you've got these big ass pockets, you've got storm flaps. It's a dual way zip. It's got these, you can't see it, but it's got these really cool little like things that hold the toggles there. Everything about it's cool, adjustable. It's light, it's easy. These are underrated types of jackets. And then we really wanted to add like a lot of like kind of like traditional layers. So these always sell out. So if you're just seeing this. But first time in the zip, you're right. Formerly they were buttons. I really like it in the zip. Obviously you can kind of get that sort of like we love the like dual way zip thing. It's the thing we've been talking about around here for years. I just like that it reveals more of your layers. Obviously we did that here, and then we like an Oxford poking out. Now that's a little bit of a shout out to Nana Mika, who's like the king of that, but we really like to duplicate it. It really, like I said, if you take all this stuff that's clean, like a super clean Oxford, this sort of like pretty classic like crew neck cardigan, and you do all that together with this, it just, for some reason, it's bringing out more than just one type of style, if that makes sense. So I really like it. Like I said, it's one of these things where I like looks from the side, like how they look from the side, and this one has so much cool dimension. I really like the color palette here because it's clean, it's easy, but it's super versatile. Like all these pieces could be taken off and be done with different things, and they all will still match most anything in your wardrobe. The pant is actually Orslo. This is the new Painter pant. I love the Painter pant personally, like love it. This is a heavier weight denim, and I really like that kind of like flat, kind of classic 90s sort of color, especially with this look. But these will age great, and I really like this pant. You can kind of see it's like still loose enough for like Chase, who doesn't like tight things, but it's still straight where it's not, it doesn't have to be super baggy if that's not your thing. And then with the classic 574s, which look cool with everything. So this is a pretty easy fit realistically, and like you can de-layer it and layer it, and it still keeps looking cool. This would look cool with just the Oxford. It would look cool with just the sweater and a t-shirt and the jacket alone, obviously. So you can kind of get a lot done with one look. So I don't know. This is kind of my favorite here. I think it looks super cool. I like it with the Canoe Club hat. It looks good. So let's shoot him up. Do we wrap this up? Okay. Well, here, let me hand it back to you for the first time so you can wrap it up.
All right, we're back. I've got the blue top here. Feels a little weird, but I'm happy to talk into it. Yeah, please let us know what you think about this new series thing we're doing. Again, I think what people respond to most is they like when we talk through and kind of show some rationale and maybe why we chose the items for the buy or why we chose them for the styling, etc. So this is going a little more in depth with that. So please leave us some feedback. We really do appreciate seeing all the feedback in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Listen to the podcast. It's hosted by Timothy and I through Canoe Club. It's called Customer Service. If you like us bullshitting, talking dumb, etc., you will like the podcast. Other than that, hop over to the new releases page. At the time of this being live, all the FrizmWORKS will be published, as well as plenty of other things in the interim. So, but other than that, thank you for watching. Really appreciate you guys. It's always a pleasure. Have a good one.